In fact, I'm going one step further. I'm going to throw it in the freezer. Come back in 10 minutes. This is a radio controlled clock that I found on the street in about 2007 in Minnesota. It's never worked correctly, but I've never thrown it away. And the idea today is to fix it, and then I can use it to show in experiments, to show something that is definitely showing the correct time because it's controlled by a radio signal from Colorado. If I throw this second battery in, you'll see what it does. It comes up with like a blue light, but then all the numbers and such come up on it. It'll say 12 o'clock. Now, the thing is, what it'll do is after a couple of minutes it might just freeze, or the display might just go off, or it might just have that blue that comes up. Another thing is that it says cal and alarm on that button there, but it's pressed inwards, so I want to see whether the mechanism inside's broken or what's going on. Another thing this can do is those little dots that are flashing away, they'll suddenly stop, and it may not even get to 12:05 or somewhere like that. It's just very bizarre, and I've got a theory that there's an electrolytic capacitor in here that's dried out, and that's giving the problems. I don't know. This is what happens to it. 3 minutes later, it's just saying 2:03. It's got the Tuesday 1/1 89.2 Fahrenheit. It is that temperature in this room, but 2:03 sitting there. I could waffle on for minutes and minutes. That is not going to change. One other quick thought I've had while I just got that small screwdriver there was about the temperature, the 89.2, whether that changes at all. I think I'll hold it in the hand and see whether that actually changes. I presume holding it in my hand will possibly warm it up or even cool it down at that temperature. About 2 minutes later, no. So do you know what? Let's throw it in the fridge a minute. In fact, I'm going one step further. I'm going to throw it in the freezer. Come back in 10 minutes. Alright, 10 minutes later. Let's get this thing out of here. Well, first of all, what's it saying? Oh, it's done something. It's saying 209. It's still saying 89.2, mind you. It's definitely messed up that way. It cannot be 89.2 in this freezer. But the time's changed. And now that I've brought it back into the other room, 210, 68.4. So it appears to have updated that, but it's evidently not running right, as you saw with the temperature in the fridge and in the freezer. What a weird thing to have happen. Anyway, we'll get it apart and have a look. Alright, so here's the back, taking the batteries out, and there's 2 screws, one there, one there. Right, so I've loosened this up now, this top, so let's have a look. What am I looking at? Hey. Okay. Oh, right. So, there is a capacitor there. I'm definitely going to change that out. Coil, a couple of other components around here, but no other electrolytics. This here, I think, will be the radio, because that's a coil there and tuned to whatever the frequency is of the transmitting station for the time. So, right, that's cool. But yeah, no other electrolytics that I'm seeing on this side. And in fact, I've just noticed something. What's going on here? Here's the speaker. I know I've not taken this apart, but I did find it on the street about 2007. These have been cut. There's the little piezo speaker for the alarm, and these are the wires for it. What on earth has gone on there? Because they've been cut. Anyway, I'm going to replace that electrolytic there. It turns out that that's a 100 microfarad at 10 volts, so got another 100 microfarad here. It's a 16 volt, but it will do the job. We've got a problem, and that is I took the screws out. There's another 3 screws that I put over there, and then when I turned it over, yeah, the screen is in the way. So that's not going to work out. And then I realised this thing has been soldered on the top, and this capacitor has actually been soldered on the top. Also, while this display's like this, I've realised what's happened with these buttons. You know, as I showed at the start that the one of them was pushed inwards. Well, there's one that's still attached there on that left side, but the others are across there, and I'll bet you that one is the one that was very loose on the front, and there is where that little pad is. That's where it's supposed to be, over here. This mystery with the speaker just got a bit deeper. Well, first of all, look around it. That looks like roach droppings to me, and I wouldn't be surprised if that happened and then this got thrown out in the street from when I found it. Yeah, I don't like that. But you see that these have been clipped like perhaps they've never been fitted. And you know, I mentioned about the glue that seems to have dried up here. This appears to have gone over the wires such that it would make sure they were secured. They go to the battery contacts. There's two more there, and they are still covered in a glue. In that same glue stuff, they've got the same colour. I wonder if these wires were ever fitted. Right, I've replaced that capacitor now. I've also cleaned up that area over there that may well have had cockroach poos all over it. So now I'm going to try it and see if it runs any better. I hope that's the problem. What I've also done on the underneath here is to reposition these switches, these little buttons, and so everything should work okay now on there. And so, put that battery in. There we go, booting up as it were. And now, I suppose it's officially on test. Let's have a look at the zone. Yeah, it does the zone okay. Those buttons are all nice and cleaned up now. Cal, oh yeah, look at this. That now works. Alright. Well, I've had this running for nearly an hour now, 58 minutes. The display itself, I don't know if you agree, appears to be sharper. It seems just clearer. I don't know if that's got anything to do with that 100 microfarads capacitor. But it's certainly running well. Now the next test of course is, will it set? And these seem to set at about midnight. I'm not sure if that's going to be the case with this one. Of course, I've never had the thing running. I'll come back tomorrow and hopefully we'll see that it will have set. I was expecting, by the way, there to be a little flashing symbol there with the radio beacon. You may have seen it in the earlier footage, but I don't seem to see it. It's not doing that. And it's certainly not 2:59, it's now 7 o'clock in the evening. I've just let it go round to 3 o'clock and it looks like it's trying to communicate. So it looks like it'll do that every hour on the hour until it sees the signal. So if I move this now, perhaps to a window ledge, maybe it'll set. Well, this is absolutely hilarious. I spent 3 days with this thing in different places in the house at different windows, trying to face towards Colorado, that kind of thing, and it wouldn't set. And now I thought, well, hang on a minute, I'll bring it outside. Less than half an hour later, I've come back out again, and the thing is now set correctly. So really, it just had to be outside. It must have a weak radio, I guess. But it's there, running completely fine, and it's set. So, with this quirky thing now running properly, it was just that 100 microfarad capacitor that must have dried out or something. What I've also noticed is, if I take a battery out, it takes a lot longer for this display to actually switch off, to run down and switch off. It takes about 15 seconds, something like that, which was definitely not the case, and I guess that's what the capacitor's mainly doing. And whatever it's doing, it fixed it by replacing it. Well, yeah, a bit of a different video. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in another one.